Welcome to Dr. Dorian's House of Killers, where we take a look at all your favorite killers and see how they could be implemented into Dead by Daylight. Today, we are going to take a look at the look-see. Roll the intro. So, the look-see could also maybe be the Slender Man, since the look-see from Crypt TV, link in description, is based on the Slender Man, at least what I've found out. Anyway, maybe I will make an extra video for the Slender Man. Just saying. The look-see. We start as always with a speed of 115%, 4.6 meters per second. The size is big. Terror radius is big. Map effect, none. Just in case you don't know, I am of the opinion that killers should have a set of different types of powers that they can combine to make it a little bit more of a guessing game how to counter the power. Passive power 1. Super strength. Destroy pallets, breakable walls, and damage generators 15% faster. So this would be a passive ability that would be always active during the match, sort of like a small perk, sort of like a small version of a brutal strength that you have with you permanently. Alternate passive power 1, the super durability. The duration of pallet stuns, D-strike, and so on and so forth, all kinds of stuns, is reduced by 25%. Sort of like a smaller form of enduring. Power 2. Telekinesis. Detonate a psychic bomb, a psychic explosion on range. It would sort of work like if a hatchet, not quite, but you spawn the psychic bomb on range, similar to a teleport from the nurse. So you charge it up, and depending upon how long you charge it, that's where the psychic explosion will happen. It will have a travel time, but it will be also maybe not that visible, maybe it will be visible. Another thing to add is it has a radius damage. However, the closer it is to the look-see, the smaller the explosion, and the farther away it goes, the bigger it gets, just so you can't spam it in close range and still have a massive explosion, but have a better chance to hit on range. You have X charges and it recharges. Alternate power 2. Instead of telekinesis, we have teleportation. In chase, the look-see can teleport in front of the survivor he is chasing. The distance from the survivor stays the same as he had when he executed the power. So let's say he's 15 meters behind the survivor, then he would be 15 meters in front of the survivor. This, of course, in itself is good or bad depending on the situation. But it can only be used in chase, and the distance stays the same. So the idea is the gain you have is because a survivor runs a bit towards you before realizing you're in front of him, or to cut off a loop or something like that. It would also be X charges and have a recharge rate. Power 3. Telepathy. Pools of blood, scratch marks are more visible, as well as survivor grunts of pain are 25% louder for 10 seconds. This would have a cooldown, and after you can use it again after a certain amount of time. Perks. Take a break. If you yourself cannot release, then it will come and take a piece. A survivor returns to the gen. If a survivor returns to the gen the fourth, third, or second time without doing something else or waiting 30 seconds, he will suffer from the broken status effect and be exhausted for 1 minute. So that means you have to cleanse a totem, or go into a locker, or maybe go into a locker, I don't know. You have to do some kind of other action. Do a different gen. It only affects if you go back to the same gen. So you have to do something else between the second, the third, or the fourth time coming back to that gen. Time's up. After the last generator is powered or the hatch is opened with a key, a locking timer is started. The locking timer seals all the gates and executes the endgame collapse immediately. Opening a door ends the locking timer. The locking timer is 3 minutes. For each survivor still alive, the timer gets reduced by 10, 20, or 30 seconds. So in effect, let's say all the gens are done, the timer gets activated, which puts the survivors under pressure to open the gates. And it's similar to the in-game collapse. Or it is the in-game collapse in a different form. If the hatch gets closed, so the last survivor doesn't make it, or somebody opens it with a key, it gets executed. This just puts pressure on survivors to open the gates and not waltz around in the match or whatever. Of course, if they have to play tactically to get the gates open, this will also put a bit more pressure on that. Cruel learning is the third perk. One survivor at random gets a notification to injure another survivor. Injuries from another survivor are called healing wounds. Healing wounds disappear from the survivor after 15, 30, or 45 seconds automatically. So it's sort of a reverse borrowed time, a reverse deep wounds. When the timer goes down, you're back healed. You're not downed or injured. Healing wounds can also be removed by healing. Cruel learning only works when 2 or more survivors are alive. If a survivor affected by cruel learning does not injure another survivor, the afflicted survivor gets injured. So if he doesn't apply healing wounds to another survivor, he himself gets injured with a normal injury status, which he would have to heal, which doesn't disappear. The timer applied to the survivor afflicted with cruel learning is 1 minute. In 1 minute, he has to find another survivor and afflict him. It would just be more or less an action, a quick button press, and then that survivor is afflicted. I wouldn't even make it an interrupting action, so you can do it to somebody who's on a gen and something like that. However, when the survivor afflicted with cruel learning is in chase, the timer is paused. So it's not that you're going to be chased by the killer and all of a sudden the timer runs out and you're injured. No. Cruel learning also grants a similar effect, similar to the bond effect. So it makes it easier to find a survivor to injure. These are my suggestions for the look-see. Do you like them? What do you think of them? Leave a comment below. Leave a like. If you feel like it, subscribe. Also, I stream every Monday and Tuesday on Twitch and every other Wednesday and Friday. Feel free to drop by. Till next time. Toodles. Also, everything linked in the description. I forgot to mention that. Now, toodles.